You are listening to episode 2 of Quarantakes. We're going to be talking about productivity during COVID 19 with photographer, content creator, and overall dope creative in person, Jody Ann Beckford. Enjoy.
Prosecuted. Well, episode 2 of Quarantakes. We're here, second week of being home because of a virus that has infected the world.
Yeah,
It's wild out here.
it is.
It's really wild out here. Like you were just talking about Paris and Germany. What were you talking about? What they're at in terms of like their cases and things are changing? Like say that again.
Liban, what were you saying about
Oh, yeah,
Paris?
I was saying Paris is now restricting the activities that you do outside. So like basically, if you're an essential service worker, you're only required to go to work, or everybody else you go to get your groceries. Everything else is off the table. So like you can't do your like walks outside like we do walks outside. You can't. Some people run outside and it still respect the social distancing like activities, but aside from that, that's what Paris is doing. They're restricting all that. You can't go outside unless if it's for an essential reason. You're getting stopped.
You can't go outside. That is actually crazy.
Yeah.
That's mad.
That is actually madness.
But imagine like that's basically almost like martial law, right? Like remember like we were saying like Berlin has like all like every block there's a van that has police waiting to see if anybody's like breaking the rules or the laws they've made.
Yeah.
Like now I've been also like ID'd already, right? Like what am I doing in my neighborhood and stuff? It's like
were you ID'd for real?
Yeah.
When were you ID'd?
Well, like I was like Nick and I have already been ID'd, and we've had friends that have been ID'd because they have to see if we're like living together or not, right?
Okay. And
Yeah.
if you were, you'd catch
Yeah, there's like the fines that are happening. So like, yeah, we have a friend, like there's a thread with like some of our friends that also live in Liberty Village, and they're like, yo, make sure your IDs have your actual address and your partner's address because like shit can go down. And I was like, oh snap.
Damn.
It's a thing. It's an actual thing.
We are here. That's wild. That is kind of wild. One thing that's been coming up a lot with the quarantine stuff is the whole like what people are doing or shouldn't be doing during quarantine. Like that's a big topic. I see a lot of like memes and a lot of commentary on whether people should be productive or not productive or like restful during this time. Like what do you guys think? Like, do you have an opinion on that? On whether people should be productive right now or should just take it easy, or does it matter? Like, what do you think?
I think it's to each their own, right? It's like, like if you're a workaholic and then you need this time to actually like work, like then keep on working to keep your sanity. And then like, I don't know, was it you that like posted that meme that said like, if you're not doing anything at home, if you're like just being lazy, don't worry. It's like, you'll find the time. Like this is like everybody else doesn't have to always find something to do. It's okay to do nothing, right?
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, like I always thought about that. I'm like, am I doing everything in my power to be productive? And I was like, and then I saw that I'm like, oh yeah, like I don't have to be like everybody else, right? Like,
right.
You don't. You really don't.
Yeah, because like the more I'm not really being truthful to myself and like the way I do things, like it's gonna make me mess up, and then obviously I'm just gonna like put so much pressure and stress on myself to be this thing I'm not, right? So. Unless like I really want to like self-indulge in like, you know, doing something artistic or like cooking more or something, right? But if I'm just doing it in a forceful manner where it's like I just need to do this because, then it's like I don't know, it feels like it doesn't feel authentic and it doesn't feel true.
That's true. What do you think, Liban?
Yeah, you know, the same thing what Aaron said about to each his own. Like, I honestly believe is like at the same time, like to still maintain whatever routine that you had before this whole thing happened, right? So if you're the type of person that would to wake up as soon as you get out of bed and make your bed before you go to work, because mostly everybody's either working from home or they're just not working. So like still try to maintain routine just to keep yourself mentally stable, in my honest opinion. And if there's time for you to relax. Like if there's one day where you just feel like you don't want to do anything,
right,
go ahead with that. But
right,
I honestly believe in maintaining a routine, to be honest.
right.
So that's the point of me.
So like, okay, so you're both on the to each your own type of situation.
Yeah.
Liban, you're saying maybe you should maintain a routine, because it's just a good for your mental. Like, why do you think a routine is important?
Well, you can do nothing for so long, and then you most people would either do something productive after that point. Like I mean, I can't just sit in my house and play video games all day, right?
Yeah.
Sometimes
Right.
you get bored and you decide to do something else. And sometimes maintaining a routine is good for you. I mean, aside from all that, keeps your brain off it.
Yeah, it does.
Self busy.
I hear you. I want to. That makes sense. I think people should maintain a routine for your mental health. I think it kind of just makes sense. Yeah.
Yeah, I can't lie. I tried to maintain like a routine last night. It was so funny. I was like, okay, I'm going to bed at like 12:30. I couldn't go to bed until like 3 o'clock. I was like, what do I do? It's like,
Yeah,
my
I'm having a hard
mind-
time going to bed early too. It's kind of
Yeah.
difficult still. If I'm honest, it's kind of a weird thing.
Yeah, I was like, okay, I'll go to bed at 12:30, and then I'll wake up at like 8 or 9, and then start my day. And I woke up. I was like, oh my gosh, it's almost 11 o'clock, and I was like, what did I do? And then I was like, oh snap!
Were you able to do that before this whole thing happened?
Like go to bed regularly, like go to bed on time, and like I used to be able to do it, and then I've been using like a sleep mask to help me just close my eyes, and like darkness is all I see, and then that still didn't help. I was like, what is going, like my mind was running in like a different direction, and so I just tried to like just breathe and think of nothing, and I think my mind was like in control, that I was like, nope, you're still awake. And I was like, yep, I didn't drink coffee since like 5 o'clock, so I'm assuming it wore off, but yeah, it's one of those.
I feel that. There was a very interesting post that Dante Coley actually put up, that I kind of want to share on the screen and then maybe talk about. He put, are you actually being productive, or are you just letting people know as validation for yourself? It ain't for yourself, but you got to reevaluate. Make your moves in silence. Take your time. Don't worry about what everyone else is doing. Focus on you. We're all so accessible to each other. Don't let that discourage you. So what do you think about that? What's your like commentary on like his words there?
Well, now with like, I feel like, like I've noticed my screen time on my phone has like doubled in the last week. And I think I've been now used to like going on Insta, checking stories, seeing posts, and then like looking at what other people are doing and stuff. So, and then I think, like especially with social media, we're at this point where there's a lot of like comparison happening.
Right.
And like that's one of the biggest things with like, for example, like young kids these days, like why is it that their depression levels are so low compared to like other generations?
Yeah.
And it's like, it's that whole like, oh, like one guy's doing better than me, I could never reach that status, or like so it's like we try and find like, so I guess it's like people are trying to do things that other people are doing just to get that validation, but at the end of the day it's not honest and true, right? So it's like at the end of the day you're rotting yourself, like you're making it harder for yourself, right?
That is a really interesting, dope point. The comparison culture situation, like something I've noticed. Okay, so like if I'm honest, when it comes to the like, quarantine and whether people, I'm surprised there's such a strong discourse around whether people should be doing something and not doing something. I'm like, doing whatever you feel like doing, you do. That,
Yeah, I'm like,
and obviously, like that's gonna make people feel uncomfortable depending on like, or I think, I don't know. I'm also like, I don't know why this is a conversation. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
you are either productive because you're choosing to be, or you're not because you've chosen to be, or you're somewhere in the middle, which I think,
where like you're just following the trend or something.
yeah,
You know?
or whatever you're
Like,
doing. One thing I've noticed, I feel like the comparison culture thing, like I think people have a hard time seeing other people produce or succeed or not produce or succeed, and it's like, and because of that, like a guilt ensues, and like what you're saying about, I think, self-awareness and like people in this generation,
mm-hmm,
the thing, you know,
mm-hmm,
like I think I was talking to some friends yesterday about like jealousy and about like comparison, and like, yeah, I think, and instead of like the conversation around productivity or non-productivity, we need to have a conversation about like comparison and like self-awareness and like
facts,
because
facts.
like I like, look, I've been envious of things before. I've seen things of Instagrams that there's things that I would love to have people do have. What that drives you to do is what's important. So the fact that you feel,
Mm-hmm.
I don't think is the problem. I think it's like, what does that drive you to do, and how does that drive you to act? And like I've seen people do a very interesting things based on envy. By the way, my friend Jody Ann's about to jump in the thing. I gave her the thing. I didn't give you all morning really because she's been waiting for an hour. So I just wanted to like,
We said jump in, jump in.
so like whatever.
Jump
But
in.
before she like, I kind of want to get your perspectives on that piece. What
Well,
do you guys think about the comparison culture and whatnot? Like you, Aaron, you said, but
yeah.
I don't know.
Well, it's like even like with the dance industry, I've started noticing it a lot more. Like everyone's posting people's dances and stuff, and then all this
Yeah,
validation being like, "Yeah, girl, do it." Like,
yeah,
and then I'm like,
There you go.
okay. And so you're like posting somebody else's choreography that you learned on their IG live and stuff, and I'm like my partner and I were like, okay, that's cool, but what else is there, right? You're just showing that you're just learning all these dances for what reason, right? And I'm like, okay, I'm gonna be healthy my way, I'll be productive my way, but I don't want to post or like watch everybody else's videos and then repost their dances and stuff. Like that doesn't show that I'm not being unproductive. I'm like, I'm just doing my own shit, and I'm like, I'm not mad
yeah.
at that. But yeah,
I want to speak to that. I want to speak